So today, firstly, I will revise the topic which I have taught earlier in one lecture, and then we'll begin from the new topic. So in the previous lecture, I have told you about upthrust, upthrust, whose other name is buoyant force. Buoyant force. It's clear. And what is upthrust or buoyant force? So I have told that whenever any object is immersed partially or wholly in any liquid, in any fluid or liquid, then it experiences an upward force. Then in any liquid, it experiences an upward force. This force is exerted by the liquid. This force is exerted by liquid on the object in upward direction. Upward direction. And its name is, this force is known as upthrust or buoyant force. It is known as upthrust or buoyant force. Force is exerted by the body. Force is exerted by the liquid on the body in upward direction. It is exerted by liquid on the object in upward direction. It is known as upthrust or buoyant force. And this phenomena of exerting the force by the liquid on the body is called the buoyancy. This phenomena is known as phenomena is known as buoyancy. It's clear. Now see here, in the previous lecture also I have told that what are the factors on which the upthrust depend. What are the factors on which the upthrust depend? Factors on which upthrust depend. Thrust depend. Now see here. So I have, before coming over this, I want to tell you one more thing. How can you experience the upthrust? For example, this is a container containing water. Containing water. Now, if you take a stone or take a brick and bring up to the bottom and leave it, what will happen? You will find that it will not come up, because if it is some force is acting in upward direction, then it must come in the upward direction. It's clear. So you will find that if you take a stone, immerse it in the container and bring it up to the bottom and leave it, what will happen? It will remain there only. But if you take a piece of cork and leave it here, you bring up to the bottom and then remove your hand, immediately you will observe that it will come up. It's clear. It will come up. Means some force is acting in upward direction. So it does not mean that the force is not acting on the stone. This force is also acting on the stone. But in case of stone, what happens? Its weight is more, and this force, which we denote by FB, is less. This force is 100 Newton, and this is less than 100 Newton, suppose 90 Newton. So net force is acting in what direction? Net force is acting in downward direction. And since it is acting in downward direction, therefore it remains only on the bottom. It don't go up. But in case of cork, what happens? When a cork is emerged, when a piece of cork, or you take a ping pong ball, it's clear, ping pong ball is very light, and take it inside the water and leave it. So you will find that as soon as you will leave it, it will immediately come up. As soon as you will remove your hand, it will immediately come up. Why? Because now upthrust is more, and the weight is less. Here upthrust we have denoted by FB dash. FB dash. So we will find that this is now more and this is less. And since FB dash is more than weight, therefore net force is acting in upward direction, and it will come upon the surface. Come upon the surface means partially it will be emerged, and partially it will be outside the water. Partially it will be outside the water. So whether it is a stone, or it is a ping pong ball, or it is a piece of cork, in every case upthrust will act, but its effect is observed only in case of the lighter body, only in case of the ping pong ball, only in case of the cork. Its effect will not be observed in case of stone. And why it will not observe? Because its weight is more and upthrust is less. Weight is more and upthrust is less. So what are the factors on which the upthrust depends? So see here, there are three factors. One is the volume of emerged portion. Volume of emerged portion. More the volume of emerged portion, more will be the upthrust. More the volume of emerged portion, more the volume of emerged portion, more will be upthrust. Will be upthrust. Upthrust will be more when the volume of immersed portion is more. Upthrust will be more when the volume of the immersed portion is more. Now see here. So more the volume of immersed portion, more will be the upthrust. It's clear? Means maximum upthrust will be exerted when the body is completely immersed. When it is completely immersed, there will be the maximum upthrust. It's clear? So maximum upthrust exerts when body is completely immersed. If maximum upthrust which we denote by the symbol FB dash. It's clear. Maximum upthrust is denoted by the symbol FB dash. Exerts when body is completely immersed. In that case, upthrust will be maximum. When it will be partially immersed, then upthrust will be less. It's clear. And this you can experience if you take a body and here this is a container containing the liquid. Now you take a lighter body and immerse the different volumes of it inside the water. Immerse here, this much is the immersed portion. Now the immersed portion is this much. Here this body is lighter, this body is lighter means on this upthrust is more and weight is less. Means the net force acts in upward direction. Means as soon as you will remove your hand, what will happen? As soon as you will remove your hand, it will come upon the surface. Here what will happen? Here immersed portion is this. So you will find that in which case you have to apply greater force in order to keep in this position. So in case 1 or in case 2 or in case 3, it's clear. In case 1, immersed portion is this much. In case 2, immersed portion is this. It's clear. And in case 3, immersed portion is this. So we will find that we have to apply greater force in downward direction in order to keep it in this position when the volume of immersed portion is more. When the volume of immersed portion is more. More the volume of immersed portion, more will be the upthrust. It's clear. Now see here. Secondly, it depends upon the density of liquid. On density of liquid. More the density of liquid, more will be the upthrust. Greater the density of liquid, density of liquid, greater will be upthrust. Upthrust will be more if the density of liquid is more. It's clear. So these are the factors on which the upthrust depends. These are the factors on which the upthrust depends. It's clear. Third is acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. It's clear. G. What is the formula of upthrust? We will deduce it later. Upthrust equals to V into D into G. V is volume of immersed portion, D is the density of liquid, and G is acceleration due to gravity. Now, what is the cause of upthrust? What is the cause because of which upthrust is exerting? So see here, as we know that there is a law of liquid pressure. Law of pressure increases with increasing the pressure is increasing with the increasing depth. More the depth, more will be the pressure. It's clear. Pressure increases with increasing depth. That is P is directly proportional to H. Already you know this formula. Pressure at H depth, it is given by H into D into G. What will be the pressure at this depth? Suppose here this is a point which is at the depth H. It is a point which is at the depth H. Then what will be pressure at this depth? So it will be equals to given by H into D into G. H is the depth of the point from the free surface. D is the density of liquid. and g is the acceleration due to gravity. It's clear. So pressure increasing with increasing depth. And second is at same horizontal level. Horizontal level. There will be same pressure. There will be same pressure. At the same horizontal level, there will be the same pressure. Here, these are the points which are situated at the same horizontal level. It's clear. At all these points, pressure will be same. At all these points, pressure will be same. And why? Because they are situated at the same depth. Now see here, what is the cause of upthrust? So see here, this is a container. We will discuss the cause of upthrust. Here, this is a container containing liquid. Suppose it is containing water. And here, this is an object which is immersed inside it. This is an object which is immersed inside it. So all of you see here, this is the top surface, this is the bottom surface, and these are the side surface, that is lateral surface. We call these surfaces as the lateral surface. These surfaces are called as the lateral surface. It is clear. So you can see here, if you take one point here, as we know that liquid exerts pressure, same pressure in all the direction. Liquid exerts same pressure in all the direction. Means suppose this is some point. So if it is exerting P pressure downward, it will exert P pressure in this side, P pressure in this side, and P pressure in this side. It is exerting same pressure in all the direction. It is clear. If you take one point here, on the lateral surface, this surface is called the lateral surface. It's clear. Suppose this is any body, then this surface, this surface, this surface, these are called the lateral surfaces. It's clear. This surface, then this surface, and then this surface. It is a lateral surface, while this is the top and this one is the bottom. So if you take one point here, then there is a diametrically opposite point here. At this point, liquid will exert pressure in what direction? In this direction. Here, liquid will exert pressure in what direction? In this direction. You can see here, since both the points are situated at same depth, therefore these pressures will be equal. These pressures will be equal. And when pressure will be equal, then force equals to pressure into area. The force which will be developed, that will also be equal in magnitude. But what will happen to the direction? This force is acting in this direction, this is acting in opposite direction. Both are equal. Therefore, what will happen? They will cancel out. Same thing will be true for the other points situated on the lateral surfaces. Same thing will be true for other points situated on the lateral surfaces. Means we can say that the forces which are acting on the lateral surfaces, they are nullifying to each other. They are nullifying to each other. No net force acts from the sides. No net force is acting from the sides. It is clear. Net force is not acting from the side. Why? Because the force exerted at one point is completely neutralized by the force exerted at diametrically opposite to that point. It's clear. At other points situated diametrically opposite to that. It's clear. Therefore, these forces will cancel out to each other. These forces will cancel out to each other. It is clear. But if you see here at the top surface, At top surface, pressure is acting in what direction? Downward direction. At the bottom surface, pressure is acting in what direction? In upward direction. Which force will be bigger? Pressure will be bigger. P1 will be bigger or P2 will be bigger. So you can see P2 is the pressure at the greater depth than the P1. Therefore, P2 will be greater than P1. And when P2 will be greater than P1, then the force which is acting here in upward direction will be more than the force which is acting at the top surface in downward direction. Force which is acting on the bottom surface in upward direction will be more than the force which is acting on the top surface in downward direction. Means F2 will be greater than F1. And when F2 will be greater than F1, what will happen? There will be a net force in upward direction because this force is bigger, this is smaller, this is suppose 100 Newton, this is only 20 Newton. So a net force of 80 Newton will act upward. It's clear? Act upward means upthrust will be here what? Here upthrust will be F2 minus F1. So what can you say about the cause of the upthrust? It is because of the unbalanced forces. What type of forces? Unbalanced. It is because of the unbalanced forces acting at the top and bottom surface. Acting at the top and bottom surface. The force which is acting at the top surface is acting downward, and the force which is acting on the bottom surface, it is acting upward. This force is bigger, this is smaller, therefore body experiences a net force in upward direction, which is the upthrust. Which is the upthrust. It's clear? Upthrust do not produce because of the forces acting on from the sides, because those forces are balanced. So see here, you can see what is cause of upthrust that I am writing here. Cause of upthrust. Upthrust produces, upthrust acts because of unbalanced forces. Acting on the body from top and bottom side. On the top surface, a smaller force acts downward, while on the bottom surface, a greater force acts upward. It's clear. Therefore, body experiences a net force in upward direction. Which is called upthrust. Which force is called upthrust. It's clear. That force is known as upthrust. Now see here one more point to be noted. Balanced forces are acting. Balanced forces are acting from lateral sides which cancel out to each other. Out to each other. These balanced forces cancel out to each other. It's clear. Now, after this, we will deduce the formula of the upthrust. Derivation of formula of upthrust. So see here, you can see of formula of upthrust. Here we will use the same symbol as used in your book. It's clear. So you can see here. This is a container which is containing some liquid up to here. Here the density of liquid. I have not taken D, I have taken rho. What is the name of this symbol? RHO. This is a Greek letter, rho. It's clear. Earlier I have denoted by D. It's clear. Then here this is a cylinder of length L. This is a cylinder of length L. You can see here. Its total length is given L. And it is situated inside this liquid in the upright position. It is situated in the upright position in such a way that the depth of its top surface from the free surface of liquid. This is the free surface of liquid. It is H1. This depth is H1. From here to here, this depth is H1. While the depth of the bottom surface is H2. Depth of the bottom surface is H2. It's clear. Now see here how much, let the pressure which is acting here is P1. At the top surface, pressure acting is P1, which will act in the downward direction because liquid exerts same pressure in all the directions. It's clear. So it is acting downward, and here pressure acting is upward. It's clear. So what will be the pressure P1? So it is at the depth H1. Therefore, pressure P1 will be H1 into rho into G. By using this formula, P equals to HdG. Depth, density, acceleration due to gravity. It is acting in downward direction. What is the pressure P2? It will be, it is at what depth? It is at the depth H2. This bottom surface is at the depth H2. So what will be the pressure? H2 into rho into G. And it will act in upward direction. It will act in upward direction. So see here, what will be the force which will be developed because of this? So here we have assumed that the area of cross section of the cylinder is A. Let area of cross section of cylinder equals to A. So how much force it will exert? So that force, suppose it is exerting F1 force. So F1 will be equal to what? P1 into A. P1 into A, that is equals to H1 rho GA. This force acts in downward direction. What will be the force F2? It will be P2 into A. that is equals to H2 into rho into G into E. This force acts downward and this force acts upward. Now you can see here, since H2 is bigger than H1, therefore P2 will be greater than P1. It's clear? H2 is bigger than H1, therefore P2 will be greater than P1, and therefore F2 will be greater than F1. F2 will be greater and F1 will be smaller. So what will be the net force? F2 minus F1. Therefore, upthrust will be F2 minus F1. You put the value. F2 is H2 rho GA. It's clear. And F1 is H1 rho GA. So it is H2 rho GA minus H1 rho GA. Rho GA will be common, so it will be H2 minus H1 into rho GA. It's clear. What is H2 minus H1? You can see here, H2 is from here to here. H1 is this. So H2 minus H1 will be equal to the length of the cylinder. It will be equal to the length of the cylinder. So H2 minus H1 equals to L length of cylinder. So what is upthrust? Upthrust FB dash, because it is completely immersed, therefore we will denote by FB dash. So it will be L into rho into G into A. Now on rearranging the term, L into A, this into this you write together, L into A you write together, L into A into rho into G. It is clear? What is L into A? L into A, its length multiplied by area of cross section, it will be its volume. It will be its volume. That therefore it will be equal to V into rho into G. It's clear? Means upthrust will be this. This is the formula of upthrust. Volume of immersed portion into density of liquid into acceleration due to gravity. Now see here, there is one more thing. As we know that there is a property, a immersed body will displace as much amount of liquid as the volume of immersed portion. An immersed body will displace as much amount of liquid as the volume of immersed portion. So see here V is what? V is the volume of the body. It is L into A equals to V. It is volume of body. This is also equals to, no, V will also be equal to volume of displaced liquid. And why it will be volume of displaced liquid? Because the body is totally immersed, therefore it will displace liquid equal to its own volume. It's clear? So see here, what will be V into rho? It will be equals to volume of displaced liquid into density of liquid. And volume into density will be the mass of the liquid displaced. Volume into density, it will be mass of the liquid displaced. So you can see here V into rho, it is the mass of liquid displaced. Means F dash B will be equal to V rho G equals to M into G. And M into G is what? Weight. Therefore, it will be equal to weight of liquid displaced by immerged portion. Weight of liquid displaced by the immersed portion. That will be the upthrust. Here upthrust will be equal to this. This you will remember. It's clear? Upthrust equals to F dash B. It is equal to V into rho into G equals to M into G. That is weight of liquid displaced by immersed portion. It will be maximum when the body is completely immersed. But when the body is partially immersed, it will be less than this. It will be less than this. It is clear? So now you can see in your book, here I have explained this thing. This derivation is important. This may be asked in your examination. It's clear? Here, this thing also I have told. Factors affecting upthrust already I have told. Volume of the body submerged, density of the liquid, what is the effect of upthrust? Because of upthrust, bodies appear lighter. As you know that when we dry a bucket filled with water from a well, so as long as bucket is inside water, it feels lighter. It's clear? Now after this, the next topic is Archimedes principle. So this we will do tomorrow.